queer. It's always important to have community to pass on stories and traditions and information and wisdom, which could in general protects us at a certain point from fascism, from discrimination, from the types of harm that those things can exact on you. Hey y'all, it's me, Peppermint.
And I'm Hugh the historian.
And we are so excited now. If you're watching this video, then that means that you may not have actually seen us together before, but that is okay because we are bringing you the fabulous podcast extraordinaire Queer 101. The podcast that talks about, honestly, anything we want, but queer history, queer literature, queer life,
queer
art,
resistance.
queer, all of it. And we invite you to come along on the journey with us. Now, if you haven't had a chance to tune into any of our previous episodes, you might be asking yourself, why are these folks doing a podcast? Well, you know, Hugh and I have been connected for a very long time in the podcast world, podcast space, but this is our very first official podcast, which we are very excited about. So Hugh, why us? Why you? Why me? Why us?
I mean,
why this?
Not us, I think, would be the real question. Who wouldn't want us as their hosts?
Hello?
But I think specifically, we have such a vibe, and I hope that you listening really get to enjoy it along with us. We met years ago, launching some podcasts, coming up with some ideas. Actually, we met years and years and years. I'm not even going to say how long ago.
Don't be saying, are you saying decades, darling? Don't try.
I'm just saying, we knew each other when the date started with
before.
a 19 and not a 20.
No, just before.
Before. But right now, I think, you know, and we were talking about this earlier, I just feel like this is a moment where they are cracking down on our lives, our existence, our books, our shows, our movies, everything, our medical care, our health care. And if we don't, as queer people, uplift our own queer history, our own queer stories, and make sure that there are real voices telling it from our point of view, then it's not going to happen. They're going to destroy it. And as a historian, I can look back and see all the times where this kind of creep of fascism has stepped in and destroyed vibrant queer communities, and it has taken decades to find the evidence of their existence again. And so I think you and I doing this is like an active bit of resistance to that sort of fascist overreach.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, the need for it is also the antidote out of it because, you know, we needed to have queer. It's always important to have community to pass on stories and traditions and information and wisdom, which could in general protects us at a certain point from fascism, from discrimination, from the types of harm that those things can exact on you, on a community. Coming out of it, we certainly need those things, community, to sort of redeem the stories and remind us of the past so that we can see again and hopefully not be better off the next time. And so, yeah, it just makes sense. We have a great connection. We both have a fascination with queerness and with history, as do I certainly do. Obviously, you're a historian, and I'm definitely not a historian, but my fascination with the queer community is like learning that, oh my gosh, there was trans people doing this, or like, oh, some lesbians did that. And because, you know, the truth is, no matter what way you cut it, that information is not as easy to find, or it's not offered up and included in an honest way. And so we are here to do just that. So we have this podcast. Yeah. It happens to be going along with a book club that we also are connected to, that we have a chance to read some wonderful literature and talk to some great authors and so on and so forth. And if you have been sleeping on that, then you should definitely go over to our socials and you'll find out exactly where and when to find that. But how are we going to be doing this podcast? Where can people find it? What are we going to do?
Well, I think for me, it's like when I was a child and I would go every week to the gay bar. Every week I would get stories, I would get news, I would get information, and I would chat with the other queerdos sitting at the bar, you know? And that's what we're going to be for people from now on. We're going to be a weekly podcast where you can come listen to us chat about the books we've been reading and the authors we've been interviewing for our Alstora book club, which you can also join if you want to, though of course you don't have to. And they're going to get access through Pride House Media, this awesome new podcasting network that also has a bunch of other great shows you should check out. They're going to kind of boom us into your house every week. We're going to talk about books, we're going to talk about movies, we're going to talk about the authors we've been interviewing, folks like Tourmaline, the author of Marsha, the new Marsha P. Johnson biography, folks like George Takei. We're going to talk about queer nerds. We're going to talk about everything that you all want to hear every single week. New episodes every Tuesday. And that's going to be, hopefully, our new weekly bar night. Now that the bars are closed,
it's a bar
you
night.
can find us there.
That's right. You bring your BYOB, darling. Bring your own books and your own booze.
I've got a question for you, Pep, because you have been all around the world, all around the country, every single day. It seems like you are in a million places, and I feel like you just have this like real pulse on like what is happening right now in the queer community. And are there things that you are like most excited about, or that you're hearing from people that they want to hear and learn about?
I think that this is, a great sort of, we are literally in the age of Aquarius. Or the dawning of it for sure. And so, I think what I'm excited about, like with regards to queerness, is the same, honestly, no tea, no shade, the same thing that I'm really interested in, with regards to just like the humanity. I think I'm viewing queerness as, while it is unique, and special and, there's some unique sensibilities in our culture, in Western culture, in Western colonial, cisgender, heteronormative, patriarchal, fascist culture. There's some unique perspectives that queerness can provide, but I do think queerness is just another version of humanity. It's just like another level, a deeper level of heightened and elevated humanity. Not that everyone, I'm not talking about homosexuality, I'm talking about queerness. And, I think the queerness connects to certain sensibilities and certain instincts and certain strengths and wonderful things about what already exists in the human brain. And so I think anyone can have a relationship to queerness. And I think the future for me is about how do people find and understand their relationship to queerness. And I don't mean to separate queerness from sexuality. That's not what I'm doing. But there are certainly people who might consider themselves gay or homosexual, or like men who have sex with men, who don't see themselves as a part of the queer community. They don't see themselves politically connected to the ways that we're discriminated against. There might be some people who either live stealth or in the closet or are they have sex with, but they don't necessarily connect on any other level. And so that's what I'm talking about when I talk about, queerness as opposed to just our sexuality.
I love that. And I think that's so much of what we bring that I don't get out of other podcasts or other places, is this real deep look from the perspective of being queer people who've been in the community for decades, who have seen so much and experienced so... I should stop commenting on that. But we have seen so much. It's so, I just think the years we have been alive, we have seen these vast changes in what it means to be queer, what it means to be trans, what is possible medically, what it means to have AIDS, what it means to exist before the internet. I think we have things to share that will help understand this moment in ways that, honestly, when I see a lot of mainstream straight commenters talk about queer material, it just feels like they are not prepared to have this conversation. They just don't have the background. And I think that's what we're going to unlock in this show, is a really deeply grounded understanding of life from a queer perspective.
I love it. So, listen, y'all, this is that sounds like, it might sound heady, but it's not, y'all. We are just here having a good time and really kind of sorting out like who we are and where we have been to see where we're going. Simple as that. And there's a lot of fun we've done in the past. We've done some great interviews and things. What are the top 3 books that you can think of, the top 3 interviews that you can think of? We don't want to talk too much about like what's coming next because we don't know if you're watching this in December or in the next month. So whenever you're watching this, it's still relevant. But some of the things we have done that we really like to do, what are some, I'm just looking up on the wall. One of my
got a bit of
favorites.
a shout out to Carvel Wallace.
Oh, yeah. Okay, of course you have to give a shout out to Carvel Wallace. Yeah. Another Word for Love, Carvel Wallace. A fantastic book. Of course, I love my sister, Harriet Tubman Live in Concert, which is a great one by Bob the Drag Queen. Yes.
And
What
as
else?
you might be catching on, we're going to be doing novels like Bob's novel. We're going to be doing memoirs like Carvel's. We're not just talking dry academic history. This is going to be exciting, alive. Books like the biography of Marsha P. Johnson, which is an incredible bio that we were just talking to Tourmaline about, just came out as we were taping this, getting bestseller status. We are bringing people who are like on the beat of what is happening. So
That's right. Another one in the past
I agree.
that I loved was All the Parts We Exile by Rosa Nazari. Great. So, if you're hearing these and don't know who any of those people are, now's a great chance for you to go back and look at some of the previous episodes that we have. Of course, we're going to have weekly episodes now. So for the people who are just meeting us, surprise, here's our podcast. There's lots to go back and look at. If you have been a listener in the past for our monthly podcast, surprise, now you get us weekly. And that doesn't mean 4 times as many books. That means 4 times as much conversation, 4 times as much fun, and it's going to be fantastic.
We're hoping to bring you in more. So please drop your questions in the comments, link to us, tell us what you're interested in. We might even be having some of your comments on air with us at some point. We might even call some of you to chat with us, So this is going to be a much more interactive, exciting, fun experience that isn't just about the books. It's about so much more, and we are so excited to have you with us on this journey.
It's true. And Hugh, I'm sorry, it's not going to be. It already is. Here we are. You're listening to it right now.
You're right. We are here right now in this.
We're here. This is it.
Together.
You're listening to it. So if you like what we've been doing and you want to hear more, then make sure that you're subscribed, that you are connected. Follow us on all socials so that you can get notifications on when the next episode is going to come out. In the meantime, you've got some homework to do. Go back and listen to our old episodes.
And we'll see you in the next one.
All right, y'all. I'm Peppermint.
And I'm Hugh the Historian.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
This podcast is part of Pride House Media, hosted by us, Peppermint and Hugh, produced and edited by Josh Rosenzweig, with original music composed by Nell Balaban.
If you enjoyed this episode, then don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. And while you're there, leave us a rating and a review. It really helps others discover the show.
You can stay connected and join the conversation by following us at Peppermint 24/7 or write to us at questions@queer101podcast.com.
Thank you for listening. And remember, our history is your history. Stay proud, stay curious, and we'll see you next time on Queer 101.